Right, this is video 2 on the 92 Ford Explorer. Well, that's some weird looking video. I wonder what's up with that. I wanted to address a few of the questions and comments that came in on this thing, and I think they're really relevant. The first thing is not having a key and the lock. To get a locksmith out here would be over $100. And because this is a sidebar lock, you really can't pick it. Bump keys don't work. The way a locksmith does this is they just have a ring with hundreds of keys with different patterns, and they just find one that works. So for $13, I can buy that whole lock assembly there from Napa. Why should I pay a bunch of money? I'm still trying to pick it, and the way you pick it is to stick different keys in there and kind of move them around slowly and turn it back and forth and see if you can hit a combination that works. It's a lot like winning the lottery. The rust, I agree, the rust is minimal. It's surface rust, so we're not going to worry about that. Jump and hot wire the car. That's an option, but the main problem right now is the wheel's locked. So I can't even move the car. Where it sits here is where it is. I can't even push it or roll it. So I'm going to have to drill that out if I don't get lucky with it. For starting it, this is something I was thinking about. Let me break in this and see if I could get this color. It looks a little better. For starting, this is something I was thinking about as far as the thing sitting unused since 1998-99, so it's been sitting for 16 years around there. And that's the big mystery. Why was the car parked, the battery disconnected, and it walked away from? I was thinking about pulling the plugs out and spraying Marvel Mystery Oil down there. One of the comments was to get underneath it and hand crank it. I'm going to do that. We'll do that in this video. I imagine that it's not good for the rings, and the cylinder walls are probably quite... let's just say they're not smooth and polished like glass anymore, like they were or are in a daily driver running car. So thinking about how to deal with that. Should I spray some Marvel Mystery Oil, some 030, some tranny fluid down in there, so when I crank it, it helps lubricate the top, because you better bet this thing is dry? Or do I get like 5 or 6 gallons of motor oil and just fill the whole crankcase up to the top, rotate it a few times, drain it out, and then crank it? I don't know. I got to think about that. The bump key won't work on a sidebar lock. Again, it's GM was sidebar. Some Fords were sidebar. Basically, you have to get the wafers in the right spot, and then the sidebar will drop in. You can't pick it. You can't trick that. You have to have everything lined up in order for that thing to drop in, and then it'll turn. I did vacuum up all of the glass. It does look a lot better. It actually looks, it's got the original floor mats in it on both sides, and they're still pinned down from the factory. Seats are in nice shape. Everything's in nice shape in this car. Everything's tight. It needs a typical detailing, but it's in real nice shape. Why was it parked? Is it a transmission problem? Is it an engine problem? With the With the CD player having all the discs taken out of it and the battery disconnected, it really seems like it was an intentional storage. So here's what I want to do. I want to get a bolt on this and see if I can't, or get a socket on this, but they don't allow much room in here. I don't know what size that is, a 14 maybe. I want to get a socket on that, and I want to see if I can turn it. Alright, here we go. I just got a little crappy 3/8 thing on it. Let me see if I can turn it. This is a roller cam motor, so this should not be hard to turn if it's not locked. Ah, man. Feels like it has compression. Either that, it's locking up. Ah, crap. Give it a second to... Yep, it's compression because it drops down when I let it sit. Alright, I believe it is safe to crank it. It's not tight at all. Let's get a battery in it. Let's see what kind of damage we can do. Well, here's something that's broken. I pulled the headlights out to see if they worked, and they do. I put a battery in it. Now I can't turn them off because this stupid thing is broken. Okay, I got a decent battery in there. I got the headlights. I couldn't get them all the way off. I couldn't get my hand up back there. I got a battery here. I don't know if it's any good. It's just an extra storage battery I kind of keep around. I'm gonna crank it. I'm gonna crank it dry, and we're looking for a nice even drum beat. Bop, 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 bop. Not bop, 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 bop. We're looking for a nice even compression bump. Make sure we're rolling there on the camera. And we're going to pull this little thingy off right here. And here we go. First time it's cranked since the late 90s. And I've cranked it until the battery's dead. Hey, that sounds really good. Sounds really good. I hope that was enough for it to pump up the oil a little bit. Let me get the charger on it and crank it some more. Alright, here we go. It's been charging for a minute. Sounds really good to me. It's hitting on all cylinders about even. I think we can call this thing oh, I was going to talk about the fuel. If it's pretty low on fuel, what I might do is I might just add 5 gallons to it or something rather than drop the tank, and see if the fuel pump even runs. First I got to do something with that lock. That's my next thing, is to do something with that lock, and we'll just divide this up into separate videos. So this will be part 2 of the 1992 Ford Explorer, cranking and checking the engine. And I have a whole bunch of videos I'm working on right now. I'm trying to release one every 2 days, every other day, not so as not to saturate. I don't want to overload everybody with videos, but I got this Sears Silvertone thing and this car and some mine videos and EOL stuff. I got a ton of stuff I'm working on, so I don't know when I'm going to post this, but there you go. The next one will be drilling the lock or powering it up or something. This is part 3 of the 1992 Ford Explorer, and today I'm going to attempt to start it. Actually, see if I could get it to fire. I have been trying to pick this lock with no luck, of course, because it's a sidebar. So I'm going to drill it. Alright, after literally like 6 or 8 drill bits and hours and hours, I think I feel it breaking loose. Can you imagine that? Oh, look at, we have steering now. I'll tell you this, I would not want to try and steal this car, but you know what the most important thing is, does the radio work? Huh.
Life, but you must call now. 1-800-913-2759. Listen Clear is precisely designed by top audio engineers to fit your ear almost invisibly. And you can adjust Listen Clear to find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Listen Clear is so invisible, people may not even know you're wearing it. And it's so lightweight, you may even forget you're wearing it too. So if you're sick of dealing with your hearing loss, let us give...
I knew I shouldn't have done that. Oh, crap. Alright, well, when I turn it on, and this is no surprise, I'm definitely not hearing a fuel pump. I'm hearing the relay cycle for prime, for the fuel pump prime, but I'm not hearing the pump run. Alright, we're ready to start this thing. First time since 1999 it will have run. We're going to do it in wide stereo. We got one mic there, a good EV mic, and a good EV mic over there. This is not Chinese junk. This is all really good stuff. So hopefully I have the compression set right on the camera and it's not going to flatten it. I'm going to run it on propane. We've got a propane tank here. I got the PCV vent pulled off there. I got my propane fed in. I got my wire there to start it. Got my power here. We'll put that on. We want to turn this on to where our check engine light comes on. That means PCM is powered up. And we're rolling on the big camera. See, where do we want to put this one? Put it down. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. Going to crank it, and I'm going to slowly open the propane until it starts running. I'm going to set this down. That way I can grab it if something happens, but here we go. Get the propane loose. A little bit too much. Sound like it lost compression there on the second. The propane is it's very, very delicate, the adjustment. Oil pressure's up. Fuel's empty. I screwed the radio up. Oh boy, did I screw the radio up. Okay. Well, it's definitely not running on, definitely no fuel. I probably don't want to run it for a long time like this, but... This is very difficult. What I could do is I could make it a little bit too rich. All right, I don't want to do that. The accelerator was stuck. Now what I've done is I've made it too rich, so I've basically pushing down on the gas. If I push down too far, I lose it. But essentially, here's what I want to do. I want to see if it goes into gear. Yep, it went into reverse. See if it goes into drive. Yes, it does. Okay, this is the next test, and it gets a little bit more dangerous here because I've got it jacked up in the rear. Both back wheels are off the ground. This vehicle has a limited slip stock, so you can't just jack up one wheel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start it on propane. Then what I'm going to do is with it idling, I'm going to open the propane up to where it's rich, to where it almost wants to stall. That'll allow me to get in the car and push down on the gas, which will give it some more air and will allow the RPM to come up. Then I'm going to put it in drive and I'm going to see if it shifts. All right, so here we go. Just going to let the camera roll through all of this. Here we go. Okay, so that's pretty rich. Okay, there. Okay, we're in drive. There, it shifted third, fourth. Come on, baby. I need some more gas. That's, if I push down on the gas, it leans out too much. Crap. See if I can give it some more gas. Crap, that's the gas all the way open. Two, three, 4. Yeah, I just don't have enough. What's happening is the propane tank is covered with ice. So I'll lean it out. All right. See if it'll go into four-wheel drive. Nope, no four-wheel drive. Let's see if the heater works. Yeah, the heater works. Well, the transmission seems to work. I screwed the radio up. I should have not put a tape in there. Oh well. Propane is so cold if my finger sticks to it. Wonder if the reason it was parked is just the fuel pump. Okay, here's something that's not a good look. And I will admit I failed to look underneath it while I was running it, but that is tranny fluid, and it looks like it's coming out of the front seal. And I've had this happen before on cars that sat for a long time, where the front seal dries out and fails or something like that, and you can see it dripping out right there. So we definitely have multiple problems with this car that have come up already. It won't go into four-wheel drive, just probably the little motor for the transfer case is frozen. The transmission's obviously gonna have to come out. Gonna have to think about this. It's probably gonna be better to maybe keep this as a parts car or something like that. I don't know, I gotta think about it, but yeah, the tranny fluid is, even though the tranny it is this brown color, it's no longer red. So yeah, this is why I wanted to start it, and this is why I wanted to start it on propane and take the cheapest route possible, so that I could weigh my options as far as parts car or roadworthy or what I want to do, because it needs a windshield and a side window too, and that's a couple $100. I may go to the junkyard next week, Christmas holiday. It's 40% off. Ever since this Chinese firm bought it out, they doubled the prices on everything. So you go on the half price day and it's just the price it used to be. Chinese, they don't care about the secondhand parts retail side of it. They just want the metal to ship back to China. So the pick-apart part of it is just a nuisance to them. Anyway, I also noticed that the thermostat was stuck open because the hot water was flowing through the radiator and it never got much above, say, 100 degrees or something. Check out this receipt I found underneath the seat. 98. Where was that date on here? I know I saw it. Yeah, 10/31/98. Returned a men's sports coat. $180. Cash refund, $194.85. Probably bought it, used it once, and then returned it. Used it for a party and then returned it. Here's something else I found under the seat. Hollywood Park Casino. I believe this has been EOL'd. I think they sold this and it's gone now. The Great Western Forum is no longer the Great Western Forum. It's now the Staples Center. I think the building is still there. They're using it for concerts or something. But I know the horse track has been EOL'd. That was just about a year ago.